Alright guys, welcome to the Hearthstone.fi Monday Night Community Tournament number 31. My name is Markus Olodyn Koskivirta. This will be a special broadcast to you guys. For the upcoming 2 weeks I will have a friend with me casting here. Say hi, Ville.
Hello everyone.
He is indeed a newcomer to the stream, but don't let that bother you. He is a very experienced caster when it comes to Hearthstone, especially in the Finnish scene. And I'm sure he'll be making my life a lot easier when it comes to getting these plays right. I'm gonna go ahead and tell both the players the get-go signal so we can join their match. Just a short moment. And once they've gotten themselves into the game itself, we'll be able to join them in the action right away. mbpro currently standing at rank number 6, while FenTyrris in legend number 66. We'll join the match on FenTyrris' side of the board. They have brought an interesting lineup of classes today, where both players have brought the Warlock and Warrior. The differentiating result is that FenTyrris has a Paladin, while mbpro is preferring to go with Hunter himself. Now, what do you think of the lineups, Ville? Are these what you'd expect to see, or did you think it'd be something else?
Well, I think this is quite normal lineup we have. The Hunter what have been seen quite a much lately, and also a Warrior, what is of course one of the strongest decks to burst down people. So I think it's quite normal, and both players are playing also Warlock, what is quite normal these days.
Yep, I'd agree with you there. The thing is that this Paladin pick from FenTyrris is what you would say a bit unorthodox to my eyes, especially given the fact that Warrior with the prevalence of patrons basically means that the hero power from Paladin really works against you, and it's looking like mbpro has started with his patron Warrior, and unfortunately I am disconnected.
Okay, yeah, I can take it over.
Yeah, please take over the action from now on. I'll try and re-spec.
Yeah, so the Paladin FenTyrris plays just his hero power. Turn 2, then comes Acolyte Pain from other side, and now turn 3 was a coin and then 2 silver, so he will be getting that Acolyte away. But it seems that there is, well, some of the combo pieces are over there already. Now there's 2 Death Spites.
And we're back also on this side. I can see 2 double Death Spite in your hand is not perfect, but at least you get the Death Rattle activation for sure. You were correct in saying that his combo pieces are sort of there, but I don't see the commander or the patron itself, so the activators are there, but the targets are missing, so
yeah, but you have a battle rage to try to go fetch them when you have some kind of creature over there.
Yeah, and that top deck Acolyte of Pain, wow.
Yeah. Now you can go to take at least 3 cards. No, actually 2. You have to attack one of the minions, so yeah. Not that bad. Not
bad. I actually think that taking the Death Spite to the face would be an okay option. If he ends up playing this Acolyte of Pain, then if he goes for the face damage, it'll be popping that Divine Shield with the Whirlwind effect. And now when he did attack to the shielded minibot itself, he got the chance for the Acolyte of Pain to trade into it later on, so I kind of understand that. But he at the same time missed the 4 damage to the face, which, well, it can be important. When you get the combo off, it sometimes is a damage or 2 away from the required amount, so
yeah,
I guess
also he gets 2 cards for the battle rates instead of 1, because he wasn't 30, so there was only 1 card out coming from that. So he is trying to maximize all the draw he can.
Yeah, exactly, that's true. The Whirlwind play was, of course, to be expected. If he had not gone for the attack, that would have been very, very unorthodox. His hand is really full right now. When you look at FenTyrris, he's got double Monster for Battle, Double consecration with an equality, and when you're ahead on board, it's not actually great to hold on to that equality consecration combination. And that Master for Battle is probably going to be only useful when it comes to one of them. So it's not that great for FenTyrris, and it's not that great for mbpro. The good thing for him is that he could have also gone for just Emperor this turn if he had chosen to do that. I think it would have been a pretty okay option, despite the fact that the existing minions would have actually been able to deal a fair amount of damage. But I don't think they had lethal, did they? Into Thaurissan, I mean.
No, they didn't, but I think he did want to just get a little bit more value out of that armor smith, and sadly there was another true silver. So it was a little bit gamble, but I think he just wants to go and try to get maximum value out of his cards.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. The armor smith play did mean that this Thaurissan coming down on turn 6 might actually be pretty bad for the curve. You don't really want to be using your Whirlwind, or you don't want to be using your Execute at this stage on a 2-1 shielded minibot. So there's really nothing he can do except just drop the Thaurissan. And if you're going to play the Thaurissan, I think it would have been better to play it on turn 6, because now you're missing out on the mana advantage. Also, the hand would have been bigger for Thaurissan to make use of on the previous turn. But these are the small details wherein the players, they make their own decisions, and that's the way the game is sort of well decided. The True Silver Champion was pretty much the death of Thaurissan automatically. So do you think mbpro had any other chances than playing that Thaurissan on 7?
Well, I think he needs to, because he knows that there's a lot of taunts, there's a lot of control in the Paladin sides, and he needs to get his combo and try to get it as smooth as he can, and I think he was a little bit forced in that situation to go for it.
Yeah, playing the big game hunter made no sense, and if you didn't play any sort of board presence, it would have been easily backfired at some stage. That Grom top deck was completely dead, but this Sludge Belcher on the other hand is exactly what you needed. The downside here being that FenTyrris' board is at such a state that this Sludge Belcher will actually take care of most of them. And you would like these 1-1s, 2-1s, and 2-3s to be on the board for your Warsong Commander into Patron combo, because you could get more patrons out of them.
Yeah, and nowadays the biggest fear there is Tyrion coming down and you don't have a silence. Basically you need to find some kind of answer, and you cannot, I think, you can't combo yet.
Well, you can if you go for the Whirlwind play as well, but that's then you're basically saying that, okay, I don't really value my Sludge Belcher that much, which in this theory would have to trade into the Divine Shield anyway. And all the other alternatives are pretty much just weapon up. You already have a weapon, it's not going to do much. You're going to use that to attack into Tyrion with the Sludge Belcher once the Whirlwind has been used to take out the Divine Shield. And since you've got the Commander with the Patron, you could actually start charging after that. You could destroy the Silverhand Recruit, you could destroy the Shielded Minibot. Oh, he doesn't value the charge this much. He does get a couple Patrons, but... Oh yeah. I completely forgot that the Whirlwind will destroy the small minions.
Yeah, it will, but it's still, well, the Belcher will actually basically secure that they will not be killed except for equality consecration, where you have to just push basically 2 damage, there are 2 parts over there, but now when there's silence, you can just silence the one, so it's actually really bad for mbpro at the moment.
Yeah, true. And the reason why he didn't want to go for the Warsong Commander play last turn is the exact same, that he wants to hold on to it, just in case that the Paladin does have the answers. And he might get more value out of the Patron combo later on, since there were no targets up for Green Patron the previous turn.
Yeah, you could push down 6 damage, but 6 damage in this point is not enough.
Yeah,
you need to find something else.
True, it's not significant. Oh, just go for face. Why not? You're pushing your opponent down to 10 hit point range, and you have an activator for Grom. So if the opposing player doesn't put up a taunt wall, it's going to be the end of this game. The damage burst with the Inner Rage Grom combo is 14 damage by itself. And we also see that there is 4 from the Dead Spite and 3 from the Green Patron, which will get killed this turn, unfortunately. But that will not matter for mbpro, not in the long run. Is there any way to clear these taunts out? There is no...
Well, there is. You can basically use the 0 execute and just attack one of those down, and you actually can push the lethal. So I think that
true.
Yeah, that is a lethal play.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah, because you get the extra damage from Inner Rage.
Yeah.
True. You first attack a face into the juggler, execute the creeper. Make sure that you've played the Grom first. You need to play the Grom.
No, actually...
No, it doesn't matter. Inner Rage activates it. Yeah, true.
Yeah, and you have the full Taskmaster also.
Yeah, true, which you just picked up. So we might see a little bit of BM here. That's always an option. He doesn't reveal that he's got an Inner Rage, but as we all see on the stream, it's not gonna be information concealed. I'm assuming that the other players will be watching this stream as well. So
yeah, that was. I have seen, like, I did see the rise of the Green Pattern, that people didn't play that Chromis, and I think that brings so much more explosive on that, like, end. And if you don't get the combo, you can just try to get that huge hit on the side, because you have 4 weapons, you can make tons of damage with those.
Yeah, that's true. With the weapons alone, you're doing 12 plus 16, so in theory that's 28 damage if you go all phase with all the weapons.
Yeah.
So that's game number 1 in favor of mbpro from team Playing Ducks from Germany. It leaves his Hunter and Warlock up, and the Hunter is a good pick against FenTyrris' Paladin. We see that it is a face Hunter. The Worgen Infiltrator pretty much immediately tells you that this is not the hybrid Hunter, but this is the more aggressive version of Hunter we've seen over the ages. And FenTyrris decides that, yeah, I'm gonna stick with my Paladin. It's definitely his worst class to have in the series, and since it is a best of 5 conquest format, you have to have a win for all of your classes. So this means that FenTyrris realizes that if I'm gonna get the win, I have to get the win from the Paladin down first. I respect that decision.
Yeah, I think I think one of the best matchups for you. It's not good. I don't know what Warlock he has, but I think it's gonna be the Demon Zulok kind of. So
could very well be Handlock as well, since we've seen the rise of Patron Warrior. Handlocks are pretty good against that, so...
Well, that's true, yeah. But in that case, well, yeah, actually I would still keep the Paladin, so... This is not the best matchup, but I think Paladin can win this.
It's possible, it's definitely possible. It also depends on whether or not FenTyrris is running Lay on Hands, or anti-heal bots, or other taunt walls. Of course we see Sludge Belcher, which is pretty basic, and we see Tyrion like we saw in the previous match. But it means that if he doesn't have those heals up, he might well run out of steam before turn 8 or turn 9 comes rolling along. And I mean the... Paladin might run out of heals, not steam, because the steam is definitely on the Hunter's side of the board. But still, it means that he has to hope to survive until those turns, and he has to hope to get those taunts, get those heals out as soon as possible.
Yeah, and that start doesn't look too good looking his hand. He has a weapon, so he can clear some of the stuff, but there's a lot of pressure coming already. He cannot, because of that Misha, he couldn't trade in like he did maybe want to, so now he has to force a little bit, but still it's decent options now. Yeah,
the True Silver Champion does save some of his options because of the fact that now he can use his Aldor Peacekeeper to pop that opposing 2/2 Spider, deny the Beast from the board. So if the opposing player does have the option of using a kill command, he'll have to play the Beast down first. And pretty much all the board is also cleared, so it's not that bad. Unfortunately for FenTyrris, though, you can see the Unleash the Hounds in mbpro's hand.
Yeah, and that represents basically 5 damage with 3 mana, and then you can do 7 damage, well 9 damage in this turn, and that push you in the limits that if there is a silence, you are quite doomed. Your sludge belcher will be useless, but at least now there isn't one, so...
We'll have to wait and see how it pans out. I actually think that one of these charging hounds might be used to trade into the 3-1.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
the one
let's...
damage actually doesn't mean that much in this situation. You just want to keep your options open, and when you play, you want him to use as much as his resource on the table to just trade in your 2-2s, so yeah.
True, true. You want to protect your mad scientist by using one of those dogs to kill the 3-1. Now let's see, one of these dogs has not attacked. It's the one to the absolute right. So mbpro is thinking about his options. Since he goes for the hero power play, it means that he will go face with the last dog as well.
Oh,
no. Okay, I guess he wants to do the trade after all. Interesting that he chose to use the hero power now instead of playing that mad scientist. Yeah, he could have used the weapon to clear out the mad scientist, that's true. But at least there would have been some sort of presence on the board.
Yep. And there's the silence, so I think...
It's looking bad, it's definitely looking bad for FenTyrris. He can still top deck another Sludge Belcher.
I didn't think heal bot and try to use that.
Yeah, yeah. There's 5 damage incoming to the face this turn, which means that if he's unable to... Oh wow, the concentration helps. It's very, very good. So, with the heal from the weapon, a top decked kill command does 3, that's not enough, that's 5. If you get a quick shot, you first play out your mad scientist, then you play the quick shot, then you hope to cycle into it. Nope, that's 3, 5, push them down to 3 once again. And there's no reason not to play the scientist this turn. You've got the mana for it, so you should definitely go for it.
I'll show them all.
Yep, and that's exactly it. Is there any way for FenTyrris to balance it?
Well, there's silence now, and then push the weapon and heal 2 more, but that gives you only maximum 3 turns.
Yeah,
So
and
you
if
need
he's
something more.
if he still top decks into either one of his direct damage spells, it's gonna be game over.
Yeah, or a weapon. Basically, any weapon will do now.
Yeah, true. Except for Glaive Zuka would not have been enough.
Oh yeah, that's true. So, but it doesn't look good because you know that that's a flames, explosive attack.
Yeah, mini flame strike.
Yeah, so it's 1, so you go back to 3, so you just have to dodge basically everything.
Yep, at least Tyrion is coming down to provide some protection from the Glaive Zuka. Wow. That's really nice timing on that other taunt. There's 9 damage on the board, and guess what?
Yeah, that's
GG.
insane. Yeah. So
No,
1 damage off.
He was 1 damage off 1 turn earlier, and now that he got it, there's good old Tyrion standing as a blocking guard. But there were a lot of outs. There were a lot of outs for mbpro out of his deck. There weren't a lot of cards left either. So FenTyrris was ever so slightly lucky there, but getting that paladin win is very important.
Yeah, and like we did see on the mulligan, he had an arcane golem, and if there's 1, there's 2. So basically he has 1 animal companion, 2 of those weapons. There was almost like, I think, and then 2 kill combos. So there was 8 draws, and I think there was 15 cards. So yeah,
About 50% chance, yeah.
yeah. So bit unlucky, but yeah, that happens sometimes.
Yep, at least it's now 1-1. While FenTyrris from Aware Gaming has been able to tie up the series, it means that we will get to watch and cast more games with you guys. That's always a positive plus, definitely for us and for you.
And that was interesting. Will he be playing the Hunter again, or will there be a swap? There will be a swap. Okay.
Yep, and it is the hand block like I predicted. Now, FenTyrris' original starting hand, there is double high-cost minions with Thaurissan and Hellscream, but you could argue that in this matchup against the handlock, keeping the Thaurissan is actually a great call, because it's gonna go on for quite a while, and you know to get value out of it. So that's exactly what happens. FenTyrris decides to hold on to the Thaurissan, and mbpro cycles out the other cards except for his Mountain Giant, which he hopes to make absolute use of as fast as possible by tapping into a turn 4 Mountain Giant.
Yeah, I think when you have a coin, you don't have a reason in slower matchups to basically mulligan that Emperor, so I think it's a good call. When you are on the play, you might want to try to get a little bit faster hand, but yeah, it's hard to argue when you can play it in turn 5.
Also, now that we're watching the first turns of this game play out themselves, I would like to ask people on the sound levels, because we are doing a new thing with Ville casting with me, which means that there might be a small difference to how the sound levels have been in the past. If you notice there's any errors or any reason to do any changes, please do comment on the chat. We'll make adjustments when it comes to time for the next semifinal to pop up. Today's next game will always be semifinal number 2 into a final. The way we cast these matches is pretty straightforward. All the top 4 matches always will be cast in order to provide the Hearthstone World Championship points from Blizzard. It's one of those qualification things you have to make sure you get in order to be able to provide these 17 points for the players. In addition to these 17 points, do you know, Ville, what the players are actually fighting for here?
Well, actually, now when you mention it, I didn't check out the prices. So.
Oh wow! How unprofessional of you!
Yeah.
Well, actually, the winner goes home with 50 euros in cold hard cash, in addition to 10 Hearthstone World Championship points. Second place finisher gets 5, and third and fourth get 1. But I'm sure you'll now remember in the future. It's completely fine.
Yeah, actually, I didn't know about the points, but yeah, the prize money I didn't know, but that's quite awesome.
Yeah, it is quite nice. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Fraktio, for enabling us to do these tournaments from now on and into the future. We will of course be taking a summer break in 2 weeks, but I think that's enough of our tournament format. We're seeing mbpro build up a really impressive board against FenTyrris' Patron Warrior. A double battle rage at this stage of the game doesn't really help him at all. He's also holding on to 2 weapons against a Sludge Belcher, which would be able to just completely tank it. So he decides to not attack into it. One option that I think should have been actually on the board for FenTyrris would have been to just attack into the Belcher this turn, make sure that you can clear it next turn. Do you think there's any reason to not attack? What's the logic behind that?
Well, basically, in my opinion, it's okay to attack for that and try to push those down those towns, because you will be on a really short clock over here, and I think you need to try to get that at least a small sludge in, so you can actually push in maybe turn 8 through that, because you are running out of time when you have these mountain giant on the table just bashing you down. You have basically 2 turns now time to do something.
Yeah, and we see the commanding shot in the hand and the Warsound Commander plus Green Patron. That's an 8 mana combo, and if you're able to push the Belcher down to the 1-2 spawn stage, then you're gonna actually get more Green Patrons out of it. So now that I look at it, I guess the reasoning for not attacking into the Belcher is the fact that you can get 2 more patrons out of it with the commanding shout later on. But that's pretty much the only case that I can think of why you would not attack. Maybe he's also afraid of his health pool total, since attacking into it twice would mean 6 more damage to the face, and currently the handlock is threatening with 18 damage.
Yeah, I was actually counting, saying that if there is 2 damage spells, he would be dead. So maybe that is the reasoning behind it. So yeah.
3 mana Mountain Giant gonna come down, along with the Twilight Drake, I would guess. There is 1 Hellfire in the hand, but that's not enough to push for lethal. Not quite yet.
Well, he has 6 damage on the hand because he has the dark bomb and the hellfire, but that's not enough.
Ah, yeah, there's a dark bomb as well. I still think that he should pop down the second mountain giant, because what are you afraid of right now? The Sylvanas isn't gonna do anything. It's meant to take board control back. It's less impact than the mountain giant.
No,
And
actually,
mountain
if
giant Twildred would be an okay combination to get out.
I think if you play Sylvanas and taunt up, I think it's not bad, because then you can play around any shenanigans what can come over there, but there is nothing what can make so much damage, so... Like, you are in safe position now.
Yeah, considering the AoEs, Patron Warriors don't usually run Brawl, so that's the only real AoE that Warriors really have right now. Nobody uses Revenge. Revenge would do 3 to everything right now, but it's such a bad card that there's no reason to run it.
Yeah.
And there's that commanding shot combo I was talking to you guys about earlier, but it is a little too late in my opinion. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. Now, Inner Rage on this first Grim Patron means that he will be able to clear out the Belcher with 1 attack and spawn 2 3/3s out of it. And everything except for the 4/10 Twilight Drake will die this turn.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, he decides to kill off the 1/2 with his weapon. Is that because of the fact that the board will be full?
Well, you could push 3 damage to the face, but in the end, that sadly doesn't do too much for you. You make few damage to the face, but you know that most likely you are dead in a swing back.
True.
The 1 damage, it doesn't matter in this position, so...
Well, if you were at 9 and the opposing player had the 4 attack value minion, then yeah, it wouldn't matter,
Yeah,
because then it would be either 1 or 2 after a Hellfire or a Dark Bomb. So
Yeah, basically you lose for 2 spells, and at this point you haven't seen any spells used. You know that there will be most likely at least 2, maybe 3 already over there, something what he can use for damage.
Yep, that's now 2-1 in favor of our Austrian player, FenTyrris. So this is an Austria versus Germany match, and we will see the face hunter come from mbpro. And FenTyrris keeps playing his Patron Warrior. It hasn't been doing him any favors thus far, but let's keep in mind that Handlock versus Patron Warrior is a really tricky matchup anyway.
Yeah, and I think actually this is a decently good matchup for FenTyrris, because the warrior naturally can play a little bit slower and get that armor running, and he has good taunts, he has armor smiths, and a lot of clear for 1 damage basically with whirlwind, so you can just wait and keep going with your good removals and just basically fatigue out that hunter, because the hero power is basically useless because you can always use your own also.
Exactly, I agree with you on that analysis. With that early armor smith as well, you're gonna start popping yourself a nice pile of armor, and if the hunter player wants to deal with your armor smith, it's either gonna have to attack with a minion and sacrifice it, or it's gonna have to use one of its weapon charges, or some of those really precious resources that you really know that the hunter doesn't want to use on your minions. So already a very strong start for warrior player. The Acolyte of Pain top deck as well. Wow, I say that this is actually heavily in favor of FenTyrris right now.
Yeah, and when you get your early draw in, this matchup is really good. Well, it's good for warrior. It's not really good because always the hunter can just curve out and just push you out. But when you get those like armors, that's usually from 5 to 8 health what you gain basically, because there is a 2 weapon hits or 1 weapon hit, and then you get all armor. So it's really nice.
And we can see the Fiery War Axe into Dread Crusader is pretty much the only play right now. You will clear out that beast from the Haunted Creeper so the opposing player doesn't have an activator for their kill commands. And that way you'll just be able to deny all that damage potential from the Hunter player. Wow, actually deciding to not attack into the Haunted Creeper.
Well, actually, I disagree with you. I think that leaving the 1-2 over there isn't that bad, because if he uses kill command for taunt, like the 3-3, that's again, he's missing 2 damage out, and the 2 guys spawning down, you could basically boost them up with anything and just go through. So it's... I think it's better to not kill it.
You're right. It's the options that I was considering was using the kill command for the opposing player's face and leaving the Haunted Creeper up and not attacking with it. You would have gone 7 damage this turn to FenTyrris' face with the hero power, and that would have been just like the ultra aggressive play and leave your beast up, because you have 2 kill commands in your hand. Wow. Summon a random Huffer.
Yeah.
4 plus 2 from existing, plus the kill command forced to be used on the opposing Grim Patron.
Yeah, well, you have Grim Patron, because you can't let that guy just go nuts over there.
That's true.
Sadly, there is an answer for this. In the hand, you only go for 2, because if there is some shenanigans like explosive trap, that would be sad, and also Unleash the Hounds will not get too much value if you play it like this.
Exactly. The fact that he, or the FenTyrris, drew into a Death Spite last turn means that he's actually using his Fiery War Axe for face damage right now. That's completely understandable. You want to get that Death Spite out, but without sacrificing any potential from your existing weapon. I don't think there's a reason to play the Hounds yet, especially that now those Grim Patrons are on the board. They'll be able to multiply themselves. It's a bit clunky playing them out right now. Yeah, you get 2 damage for 3 mana, but is that gonna be enough?
Well, I think he's just a little bit gambling that he didn't see a basically commander. So maybe there is a situation where I won't be punished really heavily in this play. So I don't know. This gives you decent option, a decent chance to kill him in the next turn or following next 2 turns. But a little bit gamble, but he knows that he's running out of time. So.
Yep, and actually using that weapon charge right now to destroy the previous weapon and get the activation Death Rattle for Death Spite for next turn. We got a small ask for your voice to be a little bit higher, but I fixed that already. We've raised the background sound just a little bit. Hopefully Ville's mic will be fine by now. Okay, double Hounds, Glaive Zuka. I still think this is lethal from FenTyrris next turn. Is there any way that mbpro could be able to turn this around?
Well, MP is off for 2, so it's quite close. But well, it's hard to clear out this board. You should clear out this board by not losing anything, and then you can go for kill command, kill that patron, but still you are swing back will kill you. So.
Yeah. So literally nothing that mbpro could do in that situation. And this means that FenTyrris takes match number 4, makes the series 3-1, and takes home the win. Congratulations to our Aware Gaming player from Austria, taking a nice lead in the series. I don't currently know what the situation is with the other semifinal. We hope it'll be ready for you guys soon. We'll be right back with the second semifinal of the Hearthstone.fi Monday Night Community Tournament number 31. You're listening to Markus, Olodyn, Koskivirta, and
Ville, one must fall Tuomisto.
Excellent work, buddy. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with the second semifinal. So in fact, the situation is not 3-1, it is 2-2.
Oh.
Yep, I miscalculated the points. I still think that, yes, both players are ready and starting the match. So we will join the last and deciding match of this best of 5 series. How did we miss that? Could you maybe remind me? Who won the Warlock match then?
I think the Warlock... Yeah, I think I did have the players upside down when you were casting, so I did get confused with the points in the first matchup, so I did mark it in the wrong, so...
Yeah, that's exactly the same thing. I thought as well, because of the...
Your soul shall be mine.
Because of the fact that the first matchup we had to switch the sides, it meant that... Yeah, I accidentally marked it as wrong. Well, doesn't matter. It means that the Hunter from mbpro is still without a win, and the Warlock from FenTyrris is still without a win. So the Warlock from mbpro won,
Greetings, traveler.
and the Warrior from FenTyrris won. Yep.
Well, so it seems, so we have more games, so I think it's better. Only sad thing is that I was, of course, clearing my friend list from the losing player, so now I don't have him, but...
I'll tell you how the situation is developing. So which player do you see?
I can see FenTyrris hand.
Alright.
Still, so.
Well, mbpro has got double Eagle Horn Bow, Coin, Golem, and Quick Shot. Now,
Okay.
top decked into a Glaive Zook as well, so lots and lots of weapons. I think we can actually try a new technique right now. Due to the slight, let's say, be family friendly and just say mistake that I played with the results, I'll call mbpro's turns and you can in turn call FenTyrris' turns. How does that sound?
Oh, well, that sounds exciting, and I think I'm up for it. And like we could see over there was easy trade for those 2-1s, just to leave that 4-2 on the table and pass the turn, because there wasn't anything really exciting to play, because only play he has a mana is a Dark Bomb.
Yeah, exactly, and you don't want to be wasting that burst yet. Well, mbpro's turn just got a lot worse. He drew into his second Glaive Zuka. So he's currently drawn all 4 of his weapons, and there is only a single Arcane Golem in his hand as a minion, and that's famously 3 mana, and you do not want to give Handlock any extra mana.
Yeah, that's cruciating to... Well, basically you have to play... What? Glaive Zuka?
Yeah, Glaive Zuka without any targets into hero power, or you go for the Arcane Golem, Coin Glaive Zuka, and then you're pushing for 7 damage this turn. But it's gonna backfire hard. Okay, going for the Eaglehorn Bow means that you're actually pointing out hero power. I don't think this is fine due to the fact that you're still holding on to 4 cards, and at 5 mana it's gonna be a different situation.
And not even attacking, that's interesting, but there's the fast Belcher just tossed on the table like, phew, now I have something to actually block stuff.
He attacked with the previous Eaglehorn Bow, so that's the reason why he couldn't
true,
attack.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, he took out the Ancient Watcher with that.
That's true, yeah. There was so long turn that it felt like 2, but I'm used to see those face hunters just go face fast and turn.
Why you no go face? I completely understand. 5 mana, deciding to go for the block, taunt power over the Antique Healbot. I don't think there's any reasoning behind that except for the fact that you want your Molten Giants to be enabled at some point, maybe?
Yeah, I think saving the heal over here is basically try to get that hunter to use his precious cards to remove that Belcher, and then you can have your basically anti heal bot and be a little bit more safe. Of course, you wait at it, you think that it's gonna be removed, so there is sides, but also you can play your Emperor behind the taunt, most likely. Like
That's true, protecting your Emperor is pretty good value. As you saw the Knife Juggler being played, it was the top deck from last turn. And this turn's top deck is an Unleash the Hounds. There are 2 targets for it currently, so I think that it would be a viable option to play Unleash with your Juggler and hope that those Unleash Jugglers hit favorably for you, so you can kill off the 1-2 with your existing minion, and then hit the Thaurissan with your weapon, because you do not want to leave that Thaurissan up for any longer than necessary against the Handlock.
Yeah, I think it's... Ooh.
Oh wow, ultra aggressive. He's playing the Glaive Zuka into it, so he hopes that the buff will actually not matter. Wow, I thought he would try and remove the Thaurissan, but I guess with this hand, and you're playing a Face Hunter, you're just gonna go all in. You don't care if he's got the Molten Giants for 1 mana into a taunt. If he's got it, it's game over anyway. So for mbpro is currently a bit, let's say, desperate even.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit greedy play, because you could just play your hounds and just go for them. Of course, they will be more easy to remove, but I think you can push. Well, you can make a board what is more suitable for next turn kill.
True, true. And now we at least get one more hound. Let's see where the hound hits. The juggles go to the taunts and the face, so all the results are actually pretty much optimal. This last juggle going into the 6-3 is actually not what you wanted to see. You hoped to get that last juggle into one other target, so your 4-2 could clear out the 6-4, and the dogs could take out the heal bot in coordination with your Glaive Zuka, but you're now going to have to sacrifice your Knife Juggler to one of those taunts, and that's not great. Okay, well, he decides to not sacrifice the 3 damage, but instead goes for the 4 damage, and leaves those small dogs up. The reasoning behind leaving those dogs up over a 4-2 or a 3-2 is a bit weak, in my opinion, because these dogs die to Mortal Coil, they die to absolutely everything when it comes to smaller minions. Even AoE from a Boombot, as we can see here, will kill those off.
This is so nice play. You get so much damage to the face, and it's GG basically if there isn't like some kind of guard draw with quick shots.
Double quick shot. Would it be enough? Let's see. Glaive Zuka, quick shot 1-6. That's 6 plus 2 plus 2. That would be 10 with the hero power. And you would use 6 mana. Yep, so it would still not be lethal. There was no way for mbpro to get lethal right now.
Yeah.
So, in fact, it's still FenTyrris. Doesn't matter that we missed the last result, it's still FenTyrris going through.
Yeah.
So...
And it's just you won't kill me, I will kill myself.
Honorable Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
So, despite our small cock-up, the end result remains the same. FenTyrris takes the series, or the Austrian player wins.